Happy holidays. Welcome to another edition of Ranking the Albums. And today we are doing our second of a three-part series. We did Sean Cassidy uh, last week, and this week we are doing Leif Garrett. We'll be ranking his studio albums of his earlier career there, and we'll also be ranking his top 10 songs. So without further ado, let's dig right in. Leif was born in 1961, and he was started off as a child actor, and then still was always acting, and then he became a teen idol in the music business. So you couldn't go anywhere in the late 70s without seeing either Sean Cassidy, Leif Garrett, or Andy Gibb on the cover of any of those magazines that were sitting in the stores there, Tiger Beat, Teen Beat, and all that good stuff. They were everywhere on lunch boxes, you name it. They were like as much as Kiss merchandises. They were on many different types of merchandising, and their popularity grew. And these albums, their early albums of their career, sold, and that's also the case with Leif. His first two albums both went gold, and then he kind of fell off from there, teetered. We got five albums to rank of his, and we'll dig right in with our number five choice. So these albums all came out between 77, which was his debut, and 1981, which is entitled My Movie of You. So there's five of them all together, and our choice for number five, probably the obvious choice as well, and that's the 1980 Can't Explain, which I can't explain why he ever even made the album, but yeah, definitely a dud among albums. Not much on here at all to really speak of. When a cover tune stuck in the middle with you is the best song on the album, and nothing else is even memorable. That just goes to show you how bad the album really was. Um, yeah, just a very forgettable album from him, and that wasn't his last one. He actually came out with one other one after that one. So surprisingly, they were still able to make another album after this, but they knew the writing was on the wall. So the number four is actually My Movie of You, which came out in 1981 and is his final release from those first batch of regular albums. He did make some albums later on in his career, but they were mostly compilations and band type projects. So we didn't include them. We just did the five from his teen era here. My Movie of You actually charted at number 185, high on the list there, almost falling off, but nonetheless, it did chart. Um, Many songs on here are a little bit more memorable as opposed to the Can't Explain album. I would say Missing You, Feel So Right, and Movie of You are the three that stand out the most. And oddly enough, those are the three that close out the album. So, nothing too memorable. Runaway Rita was, somewhat of a song that got some airplay. He actually put that on one of his greatest hits it was on. But other than that, pretty much another, forgettable album, unfortunately. And that's going to take us to our number three, which was Same Goes For You, 1979. And this is where his downfall really kind of began. Came in at number 129. No status, no platinum, no gold, no nothing. The album didn't even make it into the top 100, so you knew it wasn't going to be anything special. But there is a couple memorable songs on here, which would go the title cut, "Same Goes For You," which kicks off the album. "Memorize Your Number," which is a very cool tune. That one also appeared on one of his greatest hits albums, and "Give In," which we actually feel is the best song on the album. That was a song that got a little airplay somewhere along the line. but it never was released as a single. So it never did nothing on the charts there. As far as the album goes, I Was Looking for Someone to Love did get released as a single, and it did peak at 78. And Memorize Your Number, which we mentioned, also was a single. That was the first single release, peaking at number 60. But he's higher up on the charts. And it's amazing that he even peaked at all. So yeah, so that's about it. It's an okay album. I would say it's middle of the pack, and that's exactly where it fell at number 3 here. So let's go down to our number 2 Leif Garrett album, and that's going to be none other than Feel the Need, which came out in 1978. It peaked at number 34, so that one would be his highest charting album. And it did go gold. It was certified gold. So, he kind of picked up where he left off from his first solo album to his second. And yeah, this album, it's got a few tracks you can kind of skip, but for the most part, he had the top 10 single, I Was Made for Dancing. There was Living Without Your Love, which was another song that was, played a little bit on here and there. Forget About You, the great song there was a cover, and he did a couple other 60s covers on here. Young Rascals Groovin', Fun Fun Fun. And of course he did the old Tommy Rowe classic Sheila and did a commendable job on it. So that's the album for Feel the Need, 1978, and that was his pretty much his first album under the Scotti Brothers Records label. And the next album, which is going to be his number 1 album, which no doubt you probably expected it, was the debut, which came out in 1977, the self-titled album. It kicked right off in fine style with The Wanderer, went right into California Girls. A lot of great songs on here, which we'll get to in our top 10 here. Special Kind of Girl was another one that stood out on here. They did a great cover. He did a great cover of Surfing USA, the old Beach Boys classic. So there's a lot of good stuff on this one, which is why it is definitely his, without a doubt, best album overall here. So there you have it. So we got number 5, Can't Explain. Number 4, My Movie of You. Number 3, Same Goes for You. 2, Feel the Need. 1, the self-titled debut. And now we're going to dig a little bit deeper and go into ranking the top 10 Leif Garrett songs. And the very number 10, we have from the debut, Special Kind of Girl. Wasn't released as a single, but it definitely is one of the standouts from the album. And good enough to make our number 10 song here. And number 9, we're going to go with Groovin', the Young Rascals cover, which comes from Feel the Need, 1978. Just a fun song, It's one good thing. It's one thing you could say about Leif Garrett is that he definitely, a lot of times he kept the covers and did them faithfully, faithful renditions. And sometimes he changed them around a little bit, but for the most part, he pretty much stuck to the traditional way of recording it. And sometimes they sound just as good as the originals, as is the case with, many of these songs that we'll be going over in just a moment. And so Groovin' was number 9. And number 8, Forget About You, which was the band called The Motors, a British band, had the original version. He redid that song from Feel the Need. And it definitely is one of these songs that a lot of people might not be too familiar with. It was on Feel the Need, like I said. It just really stood out pretty good, through for the in front of all the other ones. So that's why we got that one at number 8. Number 7, the Dion classic, The Wanderer, off of the 1977 debut. That song peaked at number 49 and was the fourth single released from his debut, fourth and last. And yeah, he did a solid job on that one. Definitely no complaints there. So the Wanderer at number 7. Number 6, we're going to go down to the debut as well. You can see a trend kind of coming here. Um, that's going to be Surfing USA, the Beast Boys classic, peaked at number 20, which was his first single released off of the debut. And, very faithful rendition, and he did a fabulous job on the song, which is why it made the top 40. So that is where we're sticking Surfing USA at number 6. And now we're going to go down to our top 5. Number 5 will be Give In off of the Same Goes For You album from 1980. We mentioned earlier on it was not a single, but it got airplay. I remember hearing it a lot, actually. I just don't know, it didn't never showed us that it got any, wasn't released as a single or anything, but it definitely is a memorable song, and we gave it his, makes it our top 5, number 5. Number 4, probably the best known song out of his catalog. It was his highest charting single, and that would be the top 10 smash, I Was Made for Dancing, which was written and produced by none other than Michael Lloyd, and that's coming from the 1978 release Feel the Need. Michael Lloyd, of course, if you remember, he did a lot of the pretty much all the main Sean Cassidy albums up until the final one. He was in charge of producing them, and he also wrote a lot of songs and played on these albums. So Lloyd definitely worked with a lot of these teen idols, and he did a really good job because he helped sell a lot of records for these guys, including our number 4, I Was Made for Dancing. It takes us down to our top 3. I'll probably surprise some people here if you're not too familiar with the catalog, because some of these songs you might not even know. But we got a number 3. We've got another song from the 1978 release Feel the Need, which was a song written by a songwriter named Baker Knight. And that song is none other than This Time. Just a great 70s vibe to it. Just a great song. I mean, it's one of those songs that you heard it, you go, huh, I've heard this before, but you just can't place it. But it's one of those ones that definitely sticks to you once you hear it. It's like, kind of like bubble gum, like they say, but it's a little bit more pop on the pop side of it, though. But a great song nonetheless. This time, number 3. And that will take us to the top 2. Number 2, none other than from the debut album, the Dion Classic, which peaked at number 13, none other than Runaround Sue, which he did a wonderful job covering that song. And just an amazing job done overall with the production and, the recording. Just a fantastic song. And that's 2 Dion songs that he put on that debut album, and both of them very memorable and help sell that album for sure. And without a without fail, we're going to announce our number 1 song, which is another song written by Michael Lloyd, um, from the 77 debut. I Want to Share a Dream with You, a song that unless you had the Leif Garrett album, you probably never would have heard of it before, but definitely a the standout on the album. I just always thought this song was phenomenal. Um, you know, say what you will about these teen idols, but looking back on their music all these years later, you know, it's just amazing when you listen to it. You go, man, this was some, you know, some decent stuff here, you know, and it's, you know, stood the test of time, probably because of the way he stayed faithful to a lot of the recordings on here. So it really just gives it another take on a great song, and that's what these are, just all great songs. And number one, I want to share a dream with you. So that will we'll read these back real quick. Number 10, special kind of girl. Number 9, groovin'. Number 8, forget about you. Number 7, the wanderer. Number 6, surfing USA. Number 5, give in. Number 4, I was made for dancing. Number 3, this time. Number 2, run around Sue. And number 1, I want to share a dream with you. And remember, this is just part 2 of our 3-part series. We will be doing Andy Gibb next to conclude this series. So stay tuned for that one as well, and make sure you catch all the other ones. We're going to release them all individually. So please subscribe, and then check and see all the ones that we come up with here. We're going to close out our Teen Idol series and probably gear ourselves toward another series next to kind of keep everything all uniformly nice and neat here. So that concludes this episode with Leif Garrett. Thank you.